We finally got a date for Zul'Gurub releasing anniversary, and this kind of adds up. I was out of town for a couple days when the news broke out, and I had time to collect my thoughts on the matter, and it turns out the timeline adds up. So let's take a look at the news very quick. We are getting the Zul'Gurub and the Nightmare Dragons, all that phase, and tier 0.5 got nobody ever. It's useless. Classic anniversary phase for releases in the week of May the 1st. I am recording this video currently on April 20th, so that would mean we are going to get Zul'Gurub in about 10 days. Now this is actually great news because itemization in Classic, especially if you just made a character, it freaking sucks, and Zul'Gurub is a great raid to plug in a bunch of the gaps in your gear. That is, at least if you are not ranking, for those people it is great. Of course the world bosses, they are in anniversary, so they are not gonna be very important because there's only like one guild that gets all of them. You know how they actually work in anniversary. They are not instants like in SOD, so you are probably never going to see it, which is fine. But if we take a look at this little tidbit of news, the steering of the Silithid, the arid sands of Silithus are shifting. Something is awakening beyond the wall to the south, like the raid. Aid to the druids of the Cenarion Circle as they delve into the mysteries of the desert, yada yada yada. So their Cenarion Circle reputation is gonna come out, and the quests and whatnot. So as you guys know, Silithus comes out bare bones. There's very little quests in Silithus at launch, and they add the actual quest lines in Silithus later on, before AQ40, but they are putting all the Silithus quests in order, which would indicate they are preparing for an eventual AQ40 launch. Now let's do a little bit of a timeline. If we are starting anniversary here, this is launch, and this is November the 21st. That's the launch date for anniversary, as you guys know. There you go. Then of course we would have Blackwing Lair, and then we would have Zul'Gurub, which is, as we guys saw right there, as you guys know, that's gonna be on May 1st. Well, not actually, they are gonna open it a little later, but let's say May 1st is gonna be in that week. So we got phase 1, that's Molten Core, the start. Then we got phase 2, which is PvP. Then we got phase 3, which is Blackwing Lair, the phase we are currently in right now. Then we go to phase 4, which is gonna be Zul'Gurub, CG for short. And from this phase, which is in 10 days, there is only 2 more phases. As you guys know, we got then AQ40, of course. AQ is gonna be phase 5. And then we are of course gonna get Naxxramas. That's gonna be phase 6, that's gonna be the end. You guys know we are getting TBC anniversary, so this after Naxxramas would take us into the TBC pre-patch and whatnot. But from what we know, phase 4 out of 6 is gonna be in May 1st, and the distance between November 21st and May 1st is 161 days. Now the cool part is we can actually work out what Blizzard is planning, because simple mathematics is gonna tell you, if we do a little fractions and we average out the time between phases, the total length of Classic anniversary is gonna be 241 days. That is way faster than a year. We were told we were gonna get a year of anniversary. This is, well, what is it? 2 months faster than that? That's pretty significant, and it makes sense, right? You wanna have a couple months of Naxxramas, and then the pre-patch is usually 2 weeks. So 2 months from Naxxramas to end of TBC pre-patch or TBC pre-patch, it seems pretty reasonable. If we go strictly at the averages, we are gonna go to July 20th, and that should be the average predictable date for Naxxramas. Now, I think that's way too quickly, and we are probably gonna be looking at something like August, if I were to guess. August the 20th, a month later. Although it is possible that Blizzard knows that AQ40 kills servers. AQ40 is always a raid that dips in population, and they don't want to have that happen, so they may want to shorten the Anchorage phase to make it a little less damaging to overall population and momentum of the game. That's possible, but say for example we got a Naxxramas launch in August. That's gonna be my bingo card if you want to put it in there and remind me in a couple months. We get 2 months of Naxxramas and then TBC pre-patch. That seems pretty standard. So in conclusion, it would seem that anniversary is going about a month ahead of schedule. They can always make a phase painfully long for no reason. I mean, we are talking about Blizzard here, and that's probably what they are gonna do to make sure there is so every other classic is dead when Pandaria comes out. They like killing all the classic versions when that happens. That's why I probably expect them, if I were to guess, they are gonna do AQ40 a month longer than it should. So it overlaps perfectly with the Pandaria launch, which should be in this spring of this year. And I think we are getting a freaking TBC pre-patch in November at the latest. So we are in April, we're looking at the 11th. That's like 7 months. I guess I will eventually get rank 14 after all. Just gotta wait for enough Alterac Valley weekends, I guess. I know you wanna hear painful news, but the real news right now is everything is going according to plan. For once. Can you believe that? Can you? I did the numbers 3 times, guys. I cannot believe it either. They finally made a project and released it according to schedule. Do you think it is too fast? Do you think it is too slow? I just hope we don't get stuck in AQ40. I'm gonna lose it. Subscribe, join the Discord, and thank you for watching.